Been a great couple of days of basketball. Uh, so we'll go with the low hanging fruit. Milwaukee. Mike Budenholzer might be the number one worst coach in history about timeout management. How, how are you going to have over a half of a second, I think right at half a second, with a timeout at the end of regulation and not call a timeout? How? How? Then in overtime, you have what, two when you're getting ready? So you're coming down, you get the ball. You have multitude of seconds. I think by the time Miami turned it over, there was probably still 8 seconds, 9 seconds, maybe even over 10. You have two timeouts. You can do a lot of stuff with two timeouts in 10 seconds. Instead, you let them run it. You don't even get a shot. You lose in 5. You get upset by the 8 seed. Congrats, by the way. That was more of a congrats to Miami. That's unreal. Jimmy Butler, just like I said last time, that guy. Jimmy Butler is that guy. Them as a team, they came together. A lot of adversity. A lot of people counting them out. Oh, heat culture. And they did it. They sure did in 5 games. In 5 games. I'll be real. Yeah, Giannis was out for 2 3/4 of it. But still, he was not good in game 5. But back to what I'm saying. You've got like 10-ish seconds. You have the ball. You have 2 timeouts. You have 1,000 possibilities you can do. You can call a timeout, which will advance the ball. No, it doesn't. Either way, you can call a timeout. Draw an inbounds play. See what the defense is giving you. Call another timeout. Switch it up. Do a second inbounds play. And if they, same thing, you'd tell them if they do this, you fake it back to the first, blah, blah. You don't just let them play where they're flustered, they're discombobulated, they are running amok, and then they don't even get an attempt off in overtime. That is coaching terrorism, for lack of a better statement. Just horrid. And then Giannis, I love Giannis. One of my favorite players to watch. If you are the guy, you're the star, you are gonna be one of the faces of the league, if not already, depending on who you ask. How can you go 10 for 23 from the free throw line? You have to hit foul shots. If you're a superstar, you do not have an excuse. You don't. You're making $50 million a year to hit free throws. You're expected to hit free throws. Even Shaq on Inside the NBA after the game was like, he was comparing himself to him, and it's comparable, but the money's a lot bigger now because the league is a lot bigger. But you can't go 10 of 23 from the line. 10 of 23? Good Lord. I can go run any distance you want me to, and I could still hit more than 10 of 23 from the free throw. It's a free throw. Anyway, getting worked up or nothing. And he was timid. He was extremely timid. He didn't want to go the free throw line. On the jump ball, towards the end of overtime, they about threw it away because the minute it touched his hands, he just slapped it towards like the out of bounds. And if Chris Middleton didn't haul over there and save it, it would have been a turnover. But it might as well have been because they didn't get anything off anyway. But he was scared. He was shook. And it's weird because he's a great player. But anyway, all of the Milwaukee slander aside, I will not take back any Mike Budenholzer slander, though. Sorry, not happening. You have Milwaukee eliminated, who was, as anybody who watched my video knows, who I said was going to win it all. So, yay. Great times. But it does open up some interesting new outlets going forward for who might win it, and we will see. Tonight, Boston will be playing Game 6 after Trae Young beat the buzzer on them in Game 5 to continue their season. So the East is interesting. Philly is just praying, same thing I said the other day, push this series more. Maybe Atlanta wins tonight, pushes it to Game 7, even more rest for Philly. It's all good. Now, going back a little bit, you have New York beating Cleveland. That series, like I said, that could have gone either way. That doesn't really surprise me. They're both about even in my books. But the matchup is set. You've got Miami, you've got New York. This is bringing it back to the 90s, and I'm all for it. You're going to have some big bodies bruising, and it's going to be good, I hope. So, in essence, what that means is you're going to have one of Miami or New York in the conference finals. It's pretty impressive. And riding the momentum, my heart leans Miami. I would not be surprised if New York pulled it out. But with Julius Randle getting injured, that's going to put a lot of damper on theirs. Granted, the Heat don't have Tyler Hero, but that just makes it even worse that they beat Miami when you beat him without your third-ish best player, second depending on the night, and you still beat Milwaukee. Good gravy. And I love Milwaukee because I've said before, I will stan anyone who is from Arkansas or especially played at U of A. Bobby Portis is my guy. Always will be. And I've talked to a lot of Bucks fans online who love Bobby. They embraced him, and it makes me so happy. But it's embarrassing as anything that they lost. But they did. They lost. And it's a sport. Sports is like that. There's going to be upsets. There's always going to be upsets. So, good times. It's going to be a good East. But we'll see how the Celtics do tonight. Let's flip to the other side. In the West. Gonna be one of the best matchups, I think, of the whole playoffs. You got my Phoenix Suns, because KD's there. We all know that. And you got Denver. And that's tough. That's tough. Denver's an insanely good team with recent, from like bubble till now, playoff disappointments. Whether it's choking away leads, some of the top seeds getting eliminated, underperforming. I like Jokic a lot, but they can't do it. Something will always happen. A lot of it is injuries, and no one can prevent that. But the underperforming, you can kind of prevent that. Sort of. But it's going to be a great series. It's going to be a phenomenal series, I hope. I hope whoever wins, I'm hoping we're looking at 6 or 7 games. Because I want to see all of this basketball I can. 6 or 7 games of a Phoenix-Denver matchup. Yeah. That will be phenomenal basketball. I hope. And who knows, either team might come out and sweep the other, and I wouldn't really be all that surprised. I just wouldn't. And if any injuries happen, I will withhold any of that judgment if/when that happens. But then going down a little bit south from Denver and hella more west, you've got the Lakers were up 3-1 till last night. Grizzlies won, which 3-2 is not anything crazy, but it was how they did it. They shot the lights out of the gym. Ja and Desmond Bane both had over 30, and they dictated the pace from the beginning. A lot of what I saw from anybody not named LeBron on the Lakers was promising, though. AD had a pretty good game. You know, a bunch of different guys had good to not bad games. But LeBron had a very, very uncharacteristically bad game. And it's LeBron. I don't expect it to happen twice in a row. So, without just saying that they're going to win it in Game 6, but I'm not saying that, because historically, he doesn't really have 2 bad games in a row. He just doesn't. He's like MJ or KD or Steph most of the time. You know, the greats can fix their mistakes. They're not going to have prolonged slumps usually. If LeBron had a stinker last night, he's not going to have a stinker, I assume, tomorrow night. It's just not going to happen. He's going to change it up. Instead of shooting threes, which he was 1 of 10 on last night, or 1 of 11, something not good, he's going to be going to the rim more. He's going to get to the free throw line more. It's what great players do. So I don't expect him to do nearly as bad. I also do not expect the Grizzlies to have an answer. I truly, truly don't. So my money is on the Lakers will probably close it out in Game 6. But then you also have Warriors going up 3-2 on Sacramento. In a great game, also. Close game till the end. Could have gone either way. Just a slugfest of a game. And I hope it goes to 7 regardless, because it's just same as with the Denver and Phoenix series. It's just good basketball. And that's what I'm a fan of first and foremost. Good basketball. I have argued with a specific friend of mine, Landon, many times. I say I would rather win or lose a close game than win or lose in a blowout any day of the week. I would rather win by 2 than win by 50. No questions asked. So I'm hoping we get Game 7. And if Grizzlies can come out and win, maybe they can limit AD, make sure the role players can't give LeBron any support. You're not going to, in this day and age, you're not going to be able to beat a team in the playoffs by yourself. I don't care who you are. MJ, Wilt, LeBron, Kareem, it doesn't matter. So, to me, if Grizzlies want to push the series, don't let LeBron get his. You do your best, but make sure no one else gets going, especially any of the three-point shooters. If LeBron has three-point shooters that are hitting shots around him, that's dangerous. They've made the finals 1,000 times before doing that exact same formula. Limit the shooters, especially like Austin Reeves and D'Lo. D'Lo can probably limit himself for the most part, other than that the Game 4 heroics. He has been not great this playoffs. Sorry, is what it is. So, hold D'Lo. Don't let him hit a 9-0 run by himself, 3 shots in a minute, like in Game 4. Do your best on AD, because he's too up and down these days, which it sucks, because he has all the talent. He has all the talent in the world, but I don't think he has the motivation. I have seen a lot of lack of motivation from him since the bubble ring. And to me, sometimes, and obviously I'm not one of his friends or nothing, but to me it strikes me as he has his ring now, he doesn't care. He doesn't want to build his legacy. He doesn't want to build as a player. And I've seen it a bunch. Plus, injuries don't help that either, because then right when you start getting back into the swing of things, down he goes for 4 more weeks or more. So, regardless, limit shooters, especially Austin Reeves, especially D'Lo. Contain AD as best you can, and make LeBron work extremely hard. That's the 3 biggest keys for the Grizzlies. Right there. For Sacramento and Golden State, if the Warriors are hitting shots, and if Fox is still limited because of the fracture on his finger on his shooting hand, I mean, it just goes in the same thing with all these other teams losing because of injuries. Warriors are going to handle it. But if it's not too awful bad, maybe he can play through it a little bit. I'm not sure. But that matchup in the next round between whoever wins between those two, Memphis, LA, or Sacramento and Warriors, that'll be very interesting either way. I know a lot of people are saying they want Warriors-Lakers. That'd be cool. That'd be fun. Be fun to see Steph and LeBron not in the finals going against each other. I could get behind that. But, all right, well, I just wanted to have a good video talk, just like always. And hopefully we got some good games tonight. And I'll see y'all next time.